How is he only a 90 overall? You have Richard Sherman, some old man who can't run for jack.
You need to put respect on Zach Ertz's name and a bunch of other tight ends that should be higher than Rob Gronkowski.
The man hasn't played since 2018. He's not going to be the NL MVP.
And then he goes onto an Instagram live where he seems to have been under the influence, smoking a cigar.
I don't think MVP is indicative of the best player in the league.
Hello, everybody. Welcome back to Goat Chat. We're here for episode 25. We have Mike back. Glad to have him back. Missed him last episode. But we're going to get right into it. Episode 25, go with the number 25. Mike, who do you have?
Well, first of all, it's good to be back. Unfortunately, I couldn't make the last episode because Optimum was extremely irritating. Let's just leave it at that. But it has to be Barry Bonds. I mean, this guy, even though you can talk about the steroids he took, whatever. Before the steroids, he was still a beast. I mean, this guy's a 7-time MVP, 8-time Gold Glover, 12-time Silver Slugger, 14-time All-Star. I mean, leads the MLB history in home runs. Absolutely insane. Hit 72 home runs in one season. No one's going to come close to that unless you talk about Stanton's season where he almost had 60. But definitely has to be Barry Bonds. Hit for power. Great fielder. What more can you ask of him?
Yeah, that's a great pick, Mike. Connor, who do you have?
Yeah, I'm going to have to agree with the Barry Bonds pick there. I mean, it's just like, even with the steroids use and all that stuff, nobody in the MLB world and sports agrees with steroid use at all. But, I mean, Barry Bonds was just unstoppable. I mean, his WAR, his wins above replacement, was 162.8. He recorded 762 home runs in his career, a record 73 home runs in his season, 2 batting titles, 7 MVPs, 12 Silver Sluggers. And, I mean, he was an 8-time Gold Glover, too. So, I mean, he had that defensive aspect to his game as well. So, there was really no stopping Barry Bonds during his time, whether he was in Pittsburgh or in San Francisco. So, the obvious choice is Barry Bonds.
Yeah, that's a great pick as well. Okay, who do you have, Matt?
Well, it's 25. It's got to be Ben Simmons. I'm just kidding. It's Barry Bonds, guys. Come on. It's Barry Bonds. Barry is the man. You guys already said great things about him. I think if I just rattled off everything you guys said, it'd be just a playback on a stereo. So it's got to be Barry Bonds. Obviously, Connor Gallant talked about him last episode wearing 24 on the Pirates. So, but 25 was his big number for the Giants. So it's got to be Barry Bonds. It's got to be Barry Bonds. It's got to be Barry Bonds.
Tommy,
Absolutely.
Third unanimous?
Yeah, of course I'm going with Barry Bonds. How could you not go with baseball's all-time home runs leader? And you guys mentioned all the stats. I mean, he was incredible. He was a 5-tool player. You rarely see that. He hit for average. He had a 298 career average. Hit for power, obviously, 762 homers. And he was one of the most feared hitters that the game has ever seen. He leads Major League Baseball in walks and intentional walks all time. He was intentionally walked 688 times, which is incredible. I mean, you don't see that today. And there was even one time where he was intentionally walked with the bases loaded because they didn't want to hit him or to have him hit a walk-off grand slam. So, he's an incredible player, obviously. And you can debate whether he should be in the Hall of Fame or not because of steroids, but it's hard to find a player better than Barry Bonds, so he's my go, the number 25 as well. I
mean, you want to talk about how feared he is? Starting from his 73 home run season, that season he averaged a 515 on base percentage. The 3 seasons after that, he goes 582, 529, then a 609 on base percentage. I mean, this guy was not getting any balls to hit, and he had over 40 home runs in each of those seasons, so he was absolutely phenomenal. I mean, like Tommy said, the most feared hitter in all of baseball history.
I mean, the steroids definitely taint all of his records and accolades, definitely a little bit, but at the end of the day, you can take as many drugs, but I mean, you still got to put that bat to the ball. You still have to make solid content on the bat. It doesn't matter how strong you are. I mean, we look at some of the best players in the MLB, and I can't think of any names right now, but there's a lot of players. Ronald Acuna doesn't look incredibly strong, and he put out 40 home runs last year.
Bregman.
I mean, Barry Bonds bulking up, it doesn't really mean anything if he can't hit the ball. So him still hitting the ball and putting up 73 home runs in a season, whether he was on steroids or not, I mean, he's still hitting the ball.
Yeah. I mean, it's just an incredible guy. Obviously, our 30 unanimous kind of feels good, right?
Yeah.
And we're halfway to 50, and we're a fourth away from 100. Let's go.
Quarter of a century, baby.
Another name to mention here for number 25, another steroid user, is Mark McGwire. Obviously, he's known for the 1998 home run chase there with Sammy Sosa and hitting 70 home runs in a season, which broke the long-standing record of Roger Maris's, which went back to 1961. He rocked the 25 in St. Louis. Before that, he was in Oakland. So that's definitely another number 25 to mention here.
Yeah, that's another great one. And sorry, Matt, what were you going to say?
Oh, you could go.
Okay, another one I want to throw out there is Mark Teixeira. He won the 2009 World Series with the Yankees. Why are you rolling your eyes, Mike? He was great.
Mike, don't even roll your eyes. Mark Teixeira came to the Yankees, and that was prime Teixeira. He hit over 400 home runs.
Yeah, and I was going to bring that up because he's only the fifth switch hitter in baseball history to hit over 400 home runs. He had 409. And, he had some good years with the Yankees. Obviously, injuries cut his career short, and, he didn't play as much during those seasons as he would have liked. But, he was an MVP candidate in 2009. He had that big home run in the playoffs, that big walk-off in Game 2 against the Twins. He had a lot of great moments. Incredible defender as well. It's hard to find a first baseman that's a better defender than Mark Teixeira. So, obviously he's not at Barry Bonds level, but he's still an incredible number 25.
Teixeira is definitely a worthy picture.
I think, we all said great names, but we got a big day ahead of us, a big episode ahead of us. So does anyone want to say any last words before?
I just want to say Casey Jones did not put up the stats, but he's a Hall of Famer, 8-time NBA championship, going with the Celtics Bill Russell team. So I just want to shout him out real quick.
Perfect. All right, we'll be moving into some NBA awards. Obviously, the nominees, the final 3 nominees for each award came out, so we'll be moving into that next. Welcome back to Go Chat. Obviously, we had a great go of the number, but we'll be moving into the NBA. Like I said, the NBA awards came out, I think, yesterday. So, there's 3 finalists for each award. There's 6 awards: MVP, Rookie of the Year, Defensive Player of the Year, Sixth Man of the Year, Most Improved Player of the Year, and Coach of the Year. So I figured, might as well, just came out. We got to give our opinions on them. So obviously, do you want to go MVP down or Coach of the Year up?
Let's go Coach of the Year up. Let's end with MVP.
Okay.
You want to end with MVP? Okay. Coach of the Year. So with the Coach of the Year, we have Mike Budenholzer for the Milwaukee Bucks, Billy Donovan for the Oklahoma City Thunder, and Nick Nurse for the Toronto Raptors. Connor, I'm going to start with you. Who should be winning this Go to the Year?
This was
Coach of the Year. I said Go to the Year.
All the people on these lists are goats. Let's just make that known. This was a tough list. These are 3 great coaches. I immediately eliminated Mike Budenholzer. I did not think that he was going to win it just because his team is so consistent every year. I think it's going to be Billy Donovan in Oklahoma City. I just think the way that he managed that team after getting rid of Chris Paul and Paul George and still being up at the top of the league there after no one thinking that they would be, I think they definitely have a good team there. I said they got rid of Chris Paul. They acquired Chris Paul. That's my apologies. They're a great team, and I mean, you got Shai Gilgeous-Alexander really stepping into his own, Dennis Schroeder. So I think that's a good team there, and I think Billy Donovan is the Coach of the Year.
Tommy, who do you have for Coach of the Year?
Yeah, I'm going to go with Nick Nurse from Toronto. Obviously, he still has a pretty good team. People are kind of saying that they're not as good because Kawhi's not there, but coming off of their championship last year, he still managed to bring him a 49-19 record thus far. So he's done a great job. And, Connor, I think you have a good pick and he might win, just because Nick Nurse does have such a good team, but I think he's done a great job, especially after the departure of Kawhi. So, I'm going to go with Nick Nurse.
Mike, who are you gonna go with?
I actually have to agree with Connor right here. I'm gonna have to go with Billy Donovan. The Raptors without Kawhi, obviously, they were still a good team, but I think a lot of people thought that they would be in the playoffs. I think that so many people just wrote off the Thunder so quickly after they got rid of their two superstars, and they come back and they're probably a better team than they were before, especially coming to the season. I was so low on Billy Donovan. I'm like, how do you have both these superstar caliber players and you don't win? You don't get past the first round. But he comes in with a new team. They're playing like like an American Raptors team. They're just that team that doesn't have that one superstar. They just have a just whole collective group of people working together, and it could be anyone on any given night. So I'm gonna have to go with Billy Donovan there, just because of the expectations for the Thunder coming to the season. He's done a great job.
Yeah, I gotta agree with you guys too. I think Nick Nurse, great coach. I think he's probably one of the better coaches in the NBA. But Billy Donovan, I mean, after trading away Russell Westbrook and Paul George, they kind of were put in that, oh, we're rebuilding. Like people thought they were rebuilding and they're gonna, be a future team, especially getting those picks. Which, yeah, they will be a future team with those picks and Gilgeous-Alexander. But like Mike said, so many people wrote off this team, and they've played so well together. They've been coached so well together. So they don't have as much, talented names. Yes, they have Chris Paul, but they don't have talented names like Paul George or Russell Westbrook there anymore. Someone like Russell Westbrook who's been there for his whole career. So definitely got to go with Billy Donovan. He's a great coach. But moving upwards, we're going to go to the most improved player of the year. Connor, you're looking a little excited for this one. Let's relax. So obviously the candidates that we have is Bam Adebayo, Luka Doncic, and Brandon Ingram. Mike, who are you going to go with?
Had
I
to
got to
pick
go with
me
you
first.
first. I
Had to pick me first. I'm gonna go with Brandon Ingram. This is an extremely tight race. I think all three candidates are outstanding. They both have improved significantly from last year. But I feel like both Bam and Luka were seen as good to great pieces for their team. Brandon Ingram was seen as a bust. He was seen as a a complete bust at the end of the day, right? No one believed in him. He comes out this season, starts absolutely bowling out. The new scenery is really helping him out right now. And you could see in the bubble, even though the Pelicans haven't won a bunch of games, Brandon Ingram is still playing at an all-star caliber level. So he's gone from a bench player to a number 2 overall pick who is seen as someone who can't make it in the league anymore to an all-star caliber player in one season just because of the change of scenery, change of coaching. I mean, this season has absolutely been huge for him. He's showing the potential that he has, and that's why I'm going with Brandon Ingram.
Definitely a great pick. Connor, I feel like I know who you're going to go with, but who are you going to go with?
This was harder than I thought it would be for myself. But anyone who's watched this show in the past knows how high I am on Bam Adebayo, and I have to pick Bam here. The way that he stepped in after the Heat decided to get rid of Hassan Whiteside, and Hassan Whiteside, I mean, he was a head case in Miami. He was a great player, but he was either always hurt or fouling or just missing shots, and he just couldn't play well in Miami. Obviously, he's doing great now over where he is. Where is he? He's in Portland. I thought he was in Portland. But Bam stepped in, not knowing. No one really knew the name Bam Adebayo. No one knew what they could expect from Bam Adebayo. And he became an explosive nature right away. He's not up there at the top names of the centers in the league that he may not be, but I'll promise you in a couple of years he will be. And he has lined himself up for most improved player this year. And next year it might be defensive player of the year. And down the line in a couple of years, I wouldn't be surprised if his name is in an MVP race. Another thing that I want to mention here with most improved player is I think it's a little disrespectful for Luka to be in this conversation. Luka had a great season his rookie year, great season. And I mean, yes, he has improved quite a bit, but why isn't his name up there with MVPs? I mean, he's played absolutely phenomenal. So yes, he does deserve a spot in most improved player. He does deserve a spot. He was improved, but I think putting him in most improved player rather than some of these other higher tier awards is a little disrespectful to Luka.
Well, I don't think it's necessarily disrespectful. I think it's just like an accolade to show that he improved so much from his rookie year. He goes from being just a rookie, averaging 20 points a game, to now averaging almost 30 points a game. Playing at an MVP type level. I think that's just something to show for Luka that he took this major step. And he has the most triple doubles in the whole NBA this year. It's not Russell Westbrook, it's Luka Doncic. I think in the first 30, 20, and 10, he was the youngest player to ever do that, 30, 20, 10, right? So he's just taken that monster step forward. He's brought the Mavericks into playoffs. The only thing why I don't think he's in the MVP finalists is just because the Mavericks haven't won enough games. I think he should be ahead of James Harden, but I think that's just why. I don't think it's necessarily, a sign of disrespect for Luka to be in this conversation, because I definitely think he should be.
Tommy, who do you got for the most improved player?
Yeah, well, I am gonna go with Luca because I think that he deserves that recognition. Last year, 21.2 points, and this season he's averaged 29.1 points. Which is a pretty big jump, I think, to go from around 20 a game to about 30 a game. And but no, you made good points, Connor. I mean, he definitely is up there in the MVP. He should have been up there in the MVP consideration, but yeah, I just think that this will be the way they give him the recognition they deserve.
So Matt, we've heard each of us picked a different guy. Which one of us are you agreeing with here?
I'm gonna agree with Tommy. Luka Doncic
There we
is
go.
the man. Luka Doncic is unbelievable. You're gonna hear me talk about him for the rest of the episode for a couple of reasons, but obviously not during like the next couple awards. But later in the episode, we'll definitely hear about him. I mean, come on, this guy's amazing. Obviously, I 100% understand where you're coming from, Connor. How he was so good last year, but the way he improved was amazing. Definitely, if the MVP was 5 finalists or maybe more, he'd be in the conversation. But I just think improving wise, Luka has been unbelievable. He's been crazy. Brandon Ingram, he's been great. Bam Adebayo, he's been great. But I'm gonna take Luka here. But we'll move on forward to the 6th man of the year. Obviously, this is a very interesting one. You have Lou Williams in there. You have 2 LA Clippers in there. You have Lou Williams, Montrezl Harrell, and Dennis Schroeder. Dennis being on the Oklahoma City Thunder. I started with Connor once. I started with Mike once. Tommy, I got to start with you this time.
Yeah, I'm gonna go with Lou Williams. I think he had a great season, 18.2 points per game is what he averaged. So, he did very well off the bench for them. And I'm not a big basketball guy, so I don't have too much more than that. But that those are pretty impressive numbers for what he's done for the Clippers. So that's who I'm gonna go with for the 6th man.
Connor?
Before I say my pick, I just want to say it really stinks not seeing Eric Gordon's name on this list for once. I mean, Eric Gordon's always a 6th of the year candidate, and he's not on the list. It's kind of disappointing. No, I'm going to agree with Tommy here with Lou Williams. I mean, he's just always a good piece off the bench, whether it's his defensive play or him being able to shoot the ball. It's always like you hear Lou Williams' name at the top of the stat lines at least once a week. So I think this was an obvious pick for me here in Lou.
Mike?
I'm gonna have to disagree with you guys. I'm gonna go with Montrezl Harrell. I think the only reason the Clippers they kind of can replace Lou Williams. They got Landry Shamet. They got some other guards who can score off the bench like Reggie Jackson, but they don't have a big man that could come off the bench, defend Anthony Davis, defend all those other big guys, or at least give him a fight. I'm not saying he's gonna go out there and put the clamps on Anthony Davis, but I'm saying I think he's a more important player to the Clippers than Lou Williams is. And don't forget that he could still put the ball in the basket as well as playing much better defensively than Lou Williams. And also Dennis Schroeder is a great choice too, but I really think it's just between Lou Williams and Harrell, and I'm going to have to go with Harrell.
Yeah, I'm going to go with Lou Williams here. I mean, didn't Lou Williams win last year?
He's won it
I feel like this guy always wins it. I feel like he always wins it, but him and Harrell are great players, both averaging 18.6. Pretty much, Lou's got 18.7, but that's like the same thing. So Montrezl Harrell's got more rebounds, obviously, but Lou Williams got more assists. Also, Lou Williams plays more minutes. I mean, I'm just taking that stuff in. I feel like if you play more minutes, you're more of a six-man for the team, in my opinion. So, he's coming in when the Clippers need him. So that's why I'm going to go with Lou Williams.
I'll take the pressure off of Matt here. I'll introduce these last three awards, and it'll give Matt a chance to go first too. So
lovely.
Our next award is the Defensive Player of the Year. Obviously, we have three big men in Giannis Antetokounmpo, Rudy Gobert, who did really well defending the coronavirus. So, I mean, and then we have Anthony Davis. Matt Kane, who are you going with?
I mean, I feel like this is a hard one. This was a hard one. This is one I had to research. Didn't really know too much between Anthony Davis and Giannis. But I'm gonna go with Giannis. He's just a freak. You gotta go with Giannis. I think that it'll be interesting to see him win if he wins MVP and he is in the running for MVP and Defensive Player of the Year. But he just uses his size, speed, length, and athleticism to protect the rim and break down passing lanes. So I think he's one of the better defensive players on his team, and maybe even historically. I'm not even sure. But I think someone that the guys are sleeping on, Ben Simmons should have been in the top 3. He definitely should have. He's leading the steals. And listen, I get that you could call me biased, so I did my own research, and NBA.com had Ben Simmons at 3. So I don't know, but I'm gonna go with Giannis. I don't think Ben would have won it, but Giannis.
Tommy, who are you going with here?
Well, initially I was gonna go with Anthony Davis, but Matt kind of convinced me there. I'm going to go with Giannis. I mean, the more I look at his numbers, it's hard to disagree with that. I mean, 11.4 defensive rebounds per game, which is pretty impressive. That's more than Anthony Davis with 7.1. And, like you said, Giannis does it on both sides of the ball. Right here, we're just looking at defense, but he's an incredible talent. So, I'm going to agree with you there, Matt. Giannis for the Defensive Player of the Year.
Mike.
I'm gonna disagree with you guys again. I'm going with Anthony Davis right here. I just think that once LA traded for Anthony Davis, their defense was completely flipped on his head. Last year, they were near the bottom of the league in defense. Now they're near the top. I mean, Anthony Davis is leading the league in blocks, I'm pretty sure, with 2.3 blocks per game. And he's also averaging 1.4 steals a game. Yes, he might not put up as many rebounds a game as Giannis, but I feel like Anthony Davis has made a bigger impact defensively on the Lakers than Giannis has to the Bucks, because I feel like the Bucks, they have a lot of good team defenders around Giannis, like Chris Middleton and Eric Bledsoe. And even Brook Lopez, he's a solid defender too. And so I think Anthony Davis has had to pick up more slack for the Lakers, and he's brought them to be a top 3 defense in this league.
Well, I'm going to have to agree with Mike here and with the Anthony Davis pick. I think just the way that he poses in that paint, and really nothing can get past him. I mean, the 2.3 blocks per game is great, and the 1.5 steals, you said 1.5 steals for a big man, for a center, that's a great number. And I mean, he may not have the rebounds that Giannis has, but he's posing that threat where he's in the paint, and if there's someone shooting, he's going out and guarding them. So he's not as much worried about those rebounds as making sure that ball doesn't go in the basket, which I think is a more important stat at the end of the day than just the defensive rebound. So I'm going to have to agree with Mike here and go Anthony Davis. Our next award, we're on our last 2 here, is Rookie of the Year. We have Ja Morant from the Memphis Grizzlies, Zion Williamson from the New Orleans Pelicans, and Kendrick Nunn from the Miami Heat. Now, quick story on Kendrick Nunn. After Thursday's episode, I was talking with Matt Kane.
Dude.
And he was telling me how Kendrick Nunn does not deserve him to be in the top 3 for the Rookie of the Year.
No, I said he doesn't even deserve to be in the conversation. If you need 3 players, then sure, put him in. But I feel like it's really between the first 2 picks.
Well, that's fine. But Kendrick Nunn is still top 3 as an undrafted rookie.
Sure, if you need 3.
So let's shut up. I'll start with you.
Wait, you start with me?
I'm starting with Tommy.
Oh, with me? Okay, I'm sorry. I'm going to go with Ja Morant on this one. He's averaged 17.8 points a game, which is pretty impressive in his first season. He's done very well there. So, yeah, I'm just going to go with John Morant.
Mike?
I'm going with John Morant too. Listen, at the end of the day, Zion has just not played enough games. If he played as many games as John, we all would be saying Zion Williamson right now, but he was injured for over half the season. It's honestly tough luck. And once he stepped into the Pelicans, he, started to carry them to the playoffs. But John Morant has done the same for the Grizzlies over a longer period of time. So I'm going with John Morant.
And then Matt and I are going to agree on Kendrick Nunn. Okay.
No, it's definitely John Morant. I mean, if you even look for Zion's stats, he's not even in it because he didn't play the minimum enough games. So if he played more games, I feel like it would be all saying Zion. Wouldn't be surprised if they gave it to Zion just because, it's Zion, but I'm going to go John.
That'd be ridiculous.
Well, that makes me think back to the MLB awards for Rookie of the Year a couple years ago when it was Miguel Andujar versus Shohei Ohtani. And Miguel Andujar overall had the better year, and then they gave it to Shohei Ohtani because it's Shohei Ohtani. It's the name that they're looking for, and they're trying to get that extra exposure to those people in the MLB. So I wouldn't be surprised if that happened here with the NBA, but the obvious pick here should be John Morant. I don't think there's no other explanations that's needed. John Morant has played absolutely great on a Memphis Grizzlies team that really, without John Morant, isn't good. I mean, he was the second overall pick in the draft last year, and now they're a playoff contender.
I was just gonna say, Malcolm Brogdon won Rookie of the Year while Joel Embiid played a similar amount of games and had put up similar stats to Zion. Even though Joel Embiid did have the better year, they did pick Malcolm Brogdon. So let's keep that in mind. If the NBA picks Zion, we know something's going on because of their actions in the past. So just keep an eye out for that.
Well, now we're moving to the big three here, the MVP award. Giannis Antetokounmpo again, the second time we've heard him, LeBron James, and James Harden. Mike, who's the MVP?
Like I said before many times in this show, it has to be Giannis. He's running away with it at this point. I mean, he's putting up 30 points a game, 14 rebounds, I think, and he's up for Defensive Player of the Year. Neither of these players are providing near the defensive impact that Giannis Antetokounmpo is. So it definitely has to be Giannis. He's had the biggest – I mean, I wouldn't say – I think he's definitely very important. You could argue that LeBron is technically more valuable, but that's not necessarily how the league picks it. The league's going to pick Giannis, and that's at the end of the story. But I do think Luka should be in here instead of James Harden. You could argue that James Harden isn't even the most valuable player on his team. I'll just leave it there.
Yeah.
I think it's got to be. We've said it before. It's got to be Giannis. I mean, we had the start bench cut, and then we also had the NBA predictions.
Start bench cut, man.
No, but props to James Harden for always being in this. I feel like he's always a nominee, but even if he deserved it or not, still props to him. Props to baby Bron. He could cry after he loses, but yeah, I got to go with Giannis.
Tommy.
Yeah, I'm going to go with Giannis as well. I mean, Matt and Mike, they gave all the stats, nearly 30 points a game, nearly 6 assists a game. So he's getting the ball to his teammates as well. Over 11 defensive rebounds a game, which is very impressive. He does on both sides of the ball. It's hard to argue with having Giannis as the MVP.
I've gone against LeBron so many times on this podcast. I hope I'm right in making this decision and going against him one more time.
Oh, okay.
Thank God. Dude.
I was going to say, I thought you were going to pick LeBron. I was like,
no, it's definitely Giannis here. There's no other discussion needed.
So would you still cut LeBron? Is that the question?
Am I cutting LeBron? I will never cut LeBron when it comes down to Kawhi Leonard or Giannis again.
I mean, do we have to roll the clip? No, we're not going to roll the clip.
Not rolling the clip
again. I'm not. We can go on.
This is going to wrap up our NBA awards section. Obviously, if you guys have different opinions, or we want to hear your guys' awards, so drop down in the comments section on our Instagram, YouTube, wherever, and just let us know what your award predictions would be. And let's see how many we get right on awards night. We're going to be right back with our daily pick'em segment. Welcome back to Go Chat here. We are here with our new segment, relatively new, the pick'em segment. The leaderboard's up now. Matt and Tommy are down there towards the bottom. That's Matt's usual place. I mean, Tommy's up at the top there for goal.
Listen, I'm just here to have fun, man. I don't know why you guys are so.
Oh, okay.
He's just trying to have fun until he goes perfect
Yeah.
in the week, and then it's all uphill.
Exactly. I was gonna say if he was at the top, God knows what he would be saying right now.
I mean, it's not for money or anything, so why do I even sweat like with my picks?
We're not putting goat chat bucks on this.
No. Oh, I
It's
actually
more
figured out.
valuable than the U.S. $100 bill. What do you mean?
I figured out a new name for it. It could be goat picks.
Oh, okay.
Here we go.
Approved by Tommy, so we have to do it. That's stamped approved by Tommy.
There we
Mike
go.
and I are sitting at the top at 4-2, and we have another great 3-game slate to come at you this week. We're not going to do a hockey game this week. We're going to wait for the postseason matchups to be finalized. We'll see some hockey matchups there on Thursday. But for this week, we're going to go with another baseball series in the Los Angeles Angels and the Oakland Athletics, and then 2 basketball games with the Phoenix Suns and the Philadelphia 76ers, and the Dallas Mavericks and the Portland Trailblazers. We'll start with the baseball series, and Tommy, we'll go over to you as our baseball guy first.
Yeah, this is a tough one. I'm not really sure, but I think I'm gonna go with Oakland. I was gonna go with the Angels, but if there were fans in the stands, I think I would go for the Angels with this because they are playing it in Anaheim. But I think the Angels definitely could win. Obviously, they have Mike Trout, Anthony Rendon, Albert Pujols, a lot of star power there. But the A's are very good this year. They're in first place right now in the West. So I'm going to go with the A's, I think, but it'll be a good one. I'm looking forward to it.
Mike, who are you going with?
Dude, this is a tough series because, Mike Trout's starting to heat up. He just hit a big home run last night. I think was his birthday yesterday?
This is the 5th time he's hit a home run on his birthday in his career.
It was 3 days ago. From 2 days ago from today, but 3 days ago from when people are watching it.
Okay, got it. So yeah, Mike Trout is going off. I think I'm gonna have to roll with the Athletics. I was really tempted to pick the A's, but I think they're starting to heat up a little bit. Not gonna be shocked if the A's win. I think it'll be a 2-1 series for the A's, or it could be 2-1 for the Angels. Who knows?
Wait, what are you picking? You said you were picking the Athletics.
This entire time.
What do you mean? I said the A's. I said the Athletics.
Okay.
Okay, I just got confused for a second.
Okay, I'm sorry. That Oakland Athletics is my pick. Moving on.
There we go.
Matt?
Listen, you guys are starting to really tick me off about being on the bottom. I got to go with the Angels here. Mike Trout's hot. I feel like I could get a sleeper out of this. Tommy even went with the A's, which, if he wants to get out of the bottom.
Yeah, I know.
Might need to go back. So I think this is where I need to take my chance. We'd go with the Angels.
Well, I'm going to agree with Matt here and go with the Angels.
Why? Why did you have to do that?
I think that the Angels, we're now 15 games in the season for the Angels, and they're sitting at 5-10. And I mean, in a 60-game season, you're a fifth through your season there. They're going to be in go mode now, and they're going to have to make every season or every series count. So I think that they're going to try to come out here and get 2 out of 3 from the division leaders, and they're going to win this series over Oakland.
Yeah. Okay. Well, no, I'm gonna do this one. I'm gonna do this one, so I know what everyone's picking, and then I pick. Okay. So, do you want to do the Mavericks one or the Suns?
You pick whichever
All right,
one.
we're gonna do the Mavericks Blazers. I feel like this is a great game. Obviously, Luka Doncic. We need a counter for how many times I say Luka Doncic this episode. I think we're on like 4, but I want to hear what you guys have to think about this game. Great game on Tuesday. Yeah, Tuesday. Connor, who do you have?
I have the Blazers. I think that the Blazers they're still in that 8 and 9 seed push, and it's getting really tight here now to these last couple of games, trying to figure out who's going to be that 8 and 9 seed, and they're going to need everything they can. And I think Damian Lillard having a little bit of beef there on Saturday on Instagram with Paul George.
That was so funny.
And Patrick Beverley. I think that's really going to fire him up here the rest of the season, and the Blazers are going to find their way into the playoffs, and they're going to find themselves a win on Tuesday night.
Mike, who do you have?
I'm going with the Mavs. I just think that they're really starting to heat up. The Blazers came in the bubble really, really hot, and I think they starting to cool down a little bit. So I'm going to take the hot team here. Luka Doncic has the hot hand, dropped 36 on Milwaukee the other night. What?
Luka Doncic.
Yeah.
The man.
Yeah, he dropped 36 the other night on Milwaukee. I gotta go with the Mavs here.
I'm starting to get about as tired as the name of Luka Doncic as I am Dak Prescott.
Well, let's foreshadow a little more. But Tommy, who do you have?
Yeah, I'm gonna agree with Mike on this one. I'm gonna go with the Mavs. I think I know you're getting tired of it, Karn, but I think Luca, he's gonna help him with this one, obviously. And yeah, I got the Mavs in this one.
Matt, if you want to get off the bottom, you better pick the right team here.
I'm torn because dribbling around, the only name I'd say is Damian Lillard. Like the whole show, I kept saying Damian Lillard. Now I keep saying Luka Doncic. So it's a battle between Luka and Dame. But I'm gonna have to go with. I gotta go with Luka Doncic. Here. I'm gonna go with the Mavs and Luka Doncic. Sorry, Connor. Connor, you're gonna be taking a couple. Well, no, you're not. You're not gonna lose the Angels one. I promise. You're not.
Well,
Okay.
well, let's remember when we all picked against Connor in basketball,
I won.
he won. So
It's
watch
not gonna
out.
happen this time.
I don't
Connor-
think history is going to repeat itself.
Connor's been. Have you been undefeated in bat? No, you lost the Pelicans, but you've pretty much almost been undefeated with basketball. So he's pretty hot. So, but you're losing this one. Promise.
Okay. Well, let's move on to the second basketball game here that we're going to pick. Another win that's going to be for me. We're picking the Suns and the Sixers here. Obviously, the Suns are on fire. They are the Suns. That was a really bad joke. I'm sorry, guys.
It's awful.
Matt, I'm going to start with you on this pick here.
I got a Sixers hat beside me, but I gotta go with the Suns. The Sixers are looking absolutely awful. With the loss of Ben Simmons has to get surgery. It's just the usual stuff that's going on. But the Suns are hot. Can't go against Booker at this point. He's not Doncic, but he'll do.
Mike.
I'm agreeing with Matt. I appreciate the unbiased here. And you're right, Connor. The Suns are as hot as the Suns. I thought that joke was great. I love a good bad joke. Anyways, I got to go with the Suns here. They are blazing, and there's no reason to pick against them. Unless you're telling me Joel Embiid is going to put up 45 and 20, but I don't bet on that to happen. Ben
Joel
Simmons
has been playing great.
He's been playing well, but what about the rest of the team? I guess Tobias Harris is
trash.
Yeah, not well. I'm going with the Suns.
You got to throw the Sixers in the dumpster at this point. I mean, I don't even know what's going to happen at this.
So throw that hat that's sitting next to you into the garbage.
No, I said the Sixers players.
Tommy, what's your pick for this game?
Yeah, I'm gonna agree with you guys. I think that the Suns, they're just on fire right now, and I think that they're gonna get the win in this one against Philadelphia.
Yeah, this is going to be a unanimous pick. So whether we all win or we all lose, the standings will stay the same on this one.
I hope we lose this one.
I don't. What do you mean?
Well, he's a Sixers fan.
Oh yeah, I forgot.
It's always sunny in Philadelphia.
It's the Suns.
Except just for the NBA bubble.
No, because the Suns in Philadelphia, it's always
sunny.
I
got it. Like the show.
Am I allowed to talk now, guys?
No.
I guess. Go ahead.
No, they've just come out of the bubble red hot. I mean, what are they now? They beat Miami on Saturday, so they're 5-0. 5-0 in the bubble. They have put themselves right in prime position for that spot there in the West.
And last episode, Connor Gaunt did mention the Suns. He could be right on that. Obviously, took an L with the Penguins.
Fat L.
But he could be right with that. I definitely said that they're the Suns, but who knows? I got him this game.
Well, that's going to wrap up our Pick'em segment. We're going to be right back with the Go to the Week. Before we leave, I want to say that me and Tommy have no idea who won Go to the Week last week between TJ Warren and Aaron Judge. It's been kept a secret.
Me.
We do want to thank you guys, though. It was the most engagement we've ever had with you guys before. The amount of votes that we got was incredible, so we appreciate that. And no matter who wins and who loses for the Go to the Week, you guys were all winners for voting. We'll be right back.
Welcome back to Go Chat. We just had the Pick'em segment, the Goat Picks. Check our Instagram to see those picks if you skipped it. Please. I don't know why you would skip it, but, we'll be moving into the Go of the Week. Last week, let's throw back to last week. We had 2 historical Go Chat events. First off, shout out to Mike. He got 0 votes. First time in Go Chat.
I should have picked James Harden. It was in the middle of the episode. I was like, Paul George, James Harden. I was like, he hasn't been playing like, phenomenal. Not like T.J. Warren or Aaron Judge. Maybe I'll get a vote. Nope, didn't get a vote. It's okay.
Yeah, but it happens. I'm sure it's gonna happen again. But another historic event was that we went into overtime. This was the second time we went into overtime, but this was probably the tightest race we've ever had. We had a whopping 45 votes. I had to count that really. No, wait, 55 votes.
Yeah, I was gonna say it was over 50.
I can't do math. I'm a sports media major. What do you want? So 55 votes, meaning that we have a clear winner here. Tommy.
Hey!
I am so sorry, but Connor won.
Oh,
TJ
no!
Warren, 28-27. TJ Warren edged out Aaron Judge. I gotta tell you,
it was
the last vote came in like 5 minutes before the poll ended.
You
So
know
it
what
was-
stinks about that?
No.
I asked 2 of my friends to vote, and they voted for Connor. If they didn't vote, then I would have won. But no, Connor, congratulations. That was a great pick.
Absolutely. And like I said before we brought us back to go to the week, was just like, no matter who won or lost, like we had
Oh my God! Stop, Connor.
There was so much trash talk before this episode. You guys should have heard it. Tommy was talking. He was just spewing just garbage out of his mouth. I was like, Tommy,
Oh, no, I
I've never heard this sort of language come out of you.
Oh, that's not true. I didn't say anything. I just said I thought I won. but-
Innocent now when the
You were pretty ahead of yourself though, Tommy.
Yeah, you
Well,
were.
I felt like I won because Aaron Judge hit 6 home runs in 5 days. But no, TJ Warren was a great pick, so don't want to take anything away from that. But, I thought Aaron Judge would have given me the win. I won with Clint Frazier when he hit a home run in a summer camp game. And then Aaron Judge hit 6 home runs in 5 days, and I don't win. I don't get it, but
Okay, listen, Tommy. I picked someone that freed a man out of prison for an unjust crime, and I didn't win. So listen, it's just the roll of the dice. It's whatever, Tommy. You just gotta deal with it. But I do gotta say, it was like 10 minutes left with the poll, and Tommy was up by 1. Then 2 votes came in for Connor. I was like, Matt texted me. He's like, "Oh my gosh, this is so insane." But it was a lot of fun. Good picks.
Well, let's just keep the fan engagement up. We really enjoyed the intensity and all the close votes. So just keep the fan engagement up, and we love to see it. Let's get into this week's Go to the Week, where hopefully we can have another tight race.
We got to update the leaderboard though. After that,
The leaderboard is up now. You will see that I'm now tied with Tommy. After my GOAT this week, I'll be up 1, and then you can call me the king of Go to the Week the first time.
oh my God.
Matt, we'll start with you. You're still there on the bottom, but it's okay. On the bottom in pick'ems, on the bottom and Go to the Week. Like, what's
Well, I'm picking. Well, like Mike said, I'm picking actually. Like, I picked an NWSL winner, like a champion, and of course, no one even acknowledges it. I mean, I'm probably the only person who watches the NWSL out of all our viewers. So, but this week,
You get a vote? You got more than me.
I think I did get more than you that week because you picked Cespedes. It was gone now.
Oh, that's some BS. How did Cespedes not win that week? Anyways, he opted out. Screw him.
Okay.
Matt, give us your GOAT of the week. Let's stay focused, guys.
My go to the week has got to be Luka Doncic, man. It's got to be Luka Doncic. I mean, Mike said it. He was the youngest to get a 30-20, 30 points, 20 rebounds. He did that against Sacramento. Got 34 points, 39 points, 20 rebounds and 12 assists. And then last night he was on fire against a championship caliber team in the Milwaukee Bucks. He got 36 points, 14 rebounds, 19 assists. That's his career high, 19 assists. So he is the GOAT of the week. He's had a great week. I don't know how you can pick anyone else. Like, you can't do it.
Well, we have to pick someone else. What do you mean?
That is no, you can forfeit. I don't see any white flags.
Only some right behind you.
Oh,
Those are nautical flags, buddy.
Tommy, who's your GOAT of the week here?
yeah, well, for one of the first times ever, I'm not going to go with a Yankee. I'm going to go with Nick Castellanos of the Cincinnati Reds.
fantasy team, baby. All those points.
Yeah, he's doing great. Since last Sunday, He has 5 home runs, 8 RBIs. He had a great week. So, and I think the Reds definitely have a chance to make the postseason, especially with the expanded playoffs. And if they're going to do it, he's going to be a big part of it. So, he had a great week, and that's who I'm going with for this week.
Is he the early season NL MVP for you, Tommy?
I don't know if I would say that just yet. It is tougher because they're a quarter of the way through the season and he's played great. So, it is possible, but I still feel like somebody like Mookie or Cody Bellinger will win it. But, we'll see. I mean, he definitely could, I think.
You mentioned Cody Bellinger there for a second. I think back to our fantasy draft. That trade has not been working out for me so well to start this season. Cody Bellinger is hitting under 200 and he has 1 home run. And Garrett Cole is 3-0. So, Mike, where you going?
You should have kept him. But great pick there, Tommy. He's definitely been killing it. And for my sake, I talked up
it
the
froze up on me. What did you guys say?
What?
I was just talking about the trade that we made. The Cody Bellinger Garrett Cole trade that hasn't
okay.
for me.
I didn't want you to think I was ignoring you. It was frozen. So okay.
Anyways, in our fantasy baseball draft episode, I did talk up the Reds a lot. I picked like 4 or 5 Reds players, and Castellanos has been a key cog in my lineup. Anyways, moving on to my go of the week pick, I'm gonna have to go with Dak Prescott. If even though the NFL, okay, Matt, calm down. Okay, I see those eyes. Anyways,
I mean, all right, go ahead.
Anyways, even though the NFL isn't playing now, I do think he had a noble act. He wrote to the Oklahoma governor to pardon Julius Jones for the crimes he supposedly committed. There have been many pieces of evidence that have proved that he's getting punished for the wrong crime. You have the wrong person for the crime. And Dak Prescott also, he pointed out this docuseries titled The Last Defense, which was produced by Viola Davis that showed all the evidence proving that Julius Jones does not deserve to be on death row. So Dak Prescott made a no act. We don't know if it's going to work or anything like that, but I'm just acknowledging the effort that he made to, do something right in this world.
Well, my go to the week is going to be another baseball player. I have a feeling it could come down to me and Tommy again this week. I'm going to go with Mike Trout. Obviously, he just came back from having his kid, and then he comes back. His first swing back, home run, dead center in Seattle. He hit 4 home runs this week, including one on his birthday. That is the 5th time in his career that he has hit a home run on his birthday. And, I mean, having a baby and then coming back and hitting 4 home runs in a week, including one on your birthday, what better week is that? So, obviously, it's Mike Trout for go to the week. There's no other discussion needed.
I feel like it's going to be between me and you, not Tommy. I don't know why you said Tommy and you. I mean, I feel like you can't discredit Luka Doncic, man.
But Nick Castellanos.
No, I think if I had to pick, I think that Connor would win this week or you, Matt, because – no, I don't think it's me this week. Oh, no.
I'm working on prison reform. You're working on hitting home runs, okay?
It's a sports show. I mean, go to the week.
I understand.
I mean, I feel like Dak breathes and you do go to the week. Like, Dak breathes. Like, he breathes. He swims. He runs. Dak's go to the week.
Okay. I mean, I was just trying to pick out something nice. Call me biased if you want. I thought it was a noble act.
If we're picking on Mike here to end the episode, why don't we mention that Celtics Heat game from last week that we all picked? That you guys all picked the Celtics and I picked the Heat and I was right.
Wait. Mike claims he would have picked the Heat, but I'm calling him BS.
I never said I would have picked the Heat. I acknowledged that they definitely had a chance to win the game. I said it was a tough choice. I said if Kemba was on a minutes restriction, which he was, it would be a lot closer than it was if he weren't on a minutes restriction. Okay. And I was correct in saying that. Listen, Connor did pick the Heat, and that's awesome. And I picked the Celtics. I was wrong for that one game, okay? Let's not get too ahead of ourselves, okay? Kemba was off a minutes restriction against the Raptors last night. And, 2 nights ago. And they absolutely destroyed him. They were up by 40 at one point. So, pump the brakes a little bit. I understand Connor likes to gloat, but let's be honest. The refs in that game were not too fair. Bam Adebayo had 18 foul shots in the first half. You know how many the Celtics had? The same amount. They had 18, the whole team. One player in the Heat had as many as the Celtics. The Heat did outplay the Celtics, but listen, the refs did help him out. You have to admit that. The Heat did win the game. Props to Connor, but that's my defense. Okay, don't attack me.
Now I know the kind of person Mike is. If his team can't win, he blames the refs.
First he blames special teams, then he blames the ref. Let's not forget.
Special teams is key. If you're starting on your 15, 20-yard line each time, it's kind of tough to score a touchdown every time. Even though Dak Prescott did throw for like 30 touchdowns.
Mike, maybe your team should actually start winning. Then you have to stop blaming the refs or anything like that.
Well, I'm not blaming the refs for the Panthers series. They just got outplayed there. But I said that he did outplay, but I said it was unfair how the refs gave Bam a little special treatment.
Well, I think that is going to wrap up GOAT Chat episode number 25. Obviously, we have some banter here at the end. What's better than some banter against Mike Puetti? It's been great having you back here today, Mike. We missed you definitely last episode. We're back to full strength here. It's been a great episode. We will see you guys on Thursday.
Wait, don't forget to subscribe, bro.
Ding, 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 ding. Hit that bell.
All right, subscribe. Instagrams are up, and then now we'll see you guys on Thursday.